Hi friends, welcome to Law Chat 101. This is Girija Patel, your legal BFF. On today's episode, I will be discussing with you on 3 quick tips to actually integrate those icky, uncomfortable policies that you might have in your business, but they are necessary and you just can't get away from them. But how do we communicate it in a way where we know, one, that our client has understood it, our client has heard it, and they're also okay with it? And then how do we integrate it? In what time frames do we integrate it into our system? So these are quick, easy tips. They're easy to apply and easy to integrate. So let's get started. Oh, and another thing, of course, my disclaimer that I am not your lawyer. I am an attorney in Houston, Texas, and I am sharing this information for your personal information and for educational purposes only. Please go talk to a lawyer specifically for your business. And also, if you are loving this content, and I know you are because I know it's helpful, subscribe and make sure you don't miss out on the future videos that are coming out, not just for Law Chat 101s, but the Law Chat with Girija podcast. Also, I have amazing entrepreneurs that are coming on to the show and talking about their journey and sharing such life lessons and wisdom with us as well. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you share with your friends and family, because that is the only way this podcast and this channel will get views and also more people will benefit from it. So let's share that love, okay? And also stay tuned till the end, because I do have something to give to you guys to help you figure out those uncomfortable areas if you have not yet figured it out, and just to kind of write it down and brain dump it out so we can strategize, because it's all about strategizing and integrating. Okay, let's get started now. Number 1, your onboarding time. The onboarding time is so essential. It is so key, because at that time you are having that conversation with a potential new client for the first time. That is a time when you're also sharing with them your energy, your vibe, and also the way your business runs and the way your value systems are, and if they feel the alignment with you. So the potential new client onboarding first consultation call is super important for any business. And so with that being said, though, include in those conversations your policies. Include how the process is. What is it like to work with you? What is it like if something were to go bad? How would you handle it? And how do you expect your client to handle it? And what should they be expecting from you at that point? That call might take a little bit longer than your normal call, but it's essential to share these kind of facts and frequently asked questions that you might be having in your business, or areas where you're just like, gosh, that was really terrible. I never want to experience that again. So let me figure this out to make it better. And the one way to figure it out and to make it better, so you're not repeating the uncomfortable history that you might have encountered, or the history that was just kind of detrimental to your business, is to include it in the potential new client initial consultation, whether it's the first one or the second one. But it's before you basically say, okay, I'm sending you my contract, because there you can actually share with them, hey, this is how the process is. This is what we do. This is how it's supposed to be. Now, in the event there's a cancellation, this is how I handle it. If you're not on time for XYZ, then this is what happens in the timeline. And this is why we are delayed. While I don't anticipate it, or while I don't like to do this, but the reason that I do it is because of X, Y, and Z. So when you are now setting up a foundation where you are communicating with them why you are doing something and your reasonings and intentions behind it, they don't have to assume it later on if something were to go wrong. They don't have to figure it out, because you've already shared it with them. There is clear communication, there's transparency in the process, and there's also an understanding why you are doing what you're doing. So it's very important that the potential new client or the initial consultation that you're having, that you share this information with them. You share the process with them. You share those situations where they may be uncomfortable, but this is how we handle it to make sure that you're okay, we're okay, and we're going to be fine. So make sure in the first consultation, you're having those conversations. Number 2, your marketing material. Now, your marketing materials should basically be boosting that initial conversation that you're having with somebody, or it should be boosting your website, or it should be boosting whatever else that you might be having that initial first interaction with. So that marketing material is there to just kind of, again, share the process, share the timeline, share how it is to work with you, share what they should be expecting as the end result, and also share the frequently asked questions. And those frequently asked questions could come in the form of the FAQs, or they could also come in the, hey, things that you should know type of area, where you're discussing with them the areas that can be uncomfortable. So it could be, a lot of times those areas could be extra charges and fees, why they would incur it or why you would impose it. Others could be the cancellation and the rescheduling policies, the COVID policies, if you have any, and other areas that maybe you are experiencing conflict or experiencing discomfort. So how can we reduce that discomfort? How can we mitigate it? And the best way to do it is, again, having that conversation, initial consultation, but then with your marketing material, you are further edifying whatever you have spoken about. And again, you are communicating it with them in another point of communication, and you're giving them notice of it as well. So it's super important to have it as part of your marketing material also. So that way, they understand what's going on. They're not having to do the guesswork on why, because you've already explained the why to them. You've already explained the purpose behind these policies that might be a little harsh, or they might make them uncomfortable, or it might make them a little feel like, that whatever. But at least they know why you're doing it. So they know that there is no ulterior motive behind it, but for the fact that your business needs to run smoothly, and you're also running a business. You're a small business too. And so it matters at the end of the day how everybody is functioning with one another, but then how everybody is understanding one another as well. Now, number 3, the place where you, again, integrate that information is your contract. But the beauty is that the contract now is where you are contractually obligating yourself to those policies or to those situations where it might be uncomfortable or it might seem harsh. But now what you have done is, because you've already had that conversation in 2 points of your onboarding process and in the marketing material, so you have 2 points of communication that you've already had, if not more, is that you have now, one, softened that harsh communication, softened the blow. There's nothing that's a surprise anymore. They know what is happening, and there's no surprises. And that's the beauty of it, because now they're not going to open that contract and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that's what you do with your rescheduling. I can't do this, because you've already explained it to them. You've already shared it with them. You've already told them what delays could look like and what it could do to your business and what it could do to their ultimate fees and their payment schedule as well. So that what happens is that in the contract, it's softening those harsh communications or the harsh feelings that they might have felt earlier. And another thing that really helps is that you've had that conversation multiple times. And now, because you've had that conversation multiple times, you've given them notice of the policies multiple times. So they can't come back to you and say, oh, I didn't know this, or oh, I didn't know this, or I didn't know what this was about, because you've already explained it to them. And while you're giving them the contract, give them time to ask you questions. Make sure that in your contract, you can effectively communicate the clauses of your contract. So make sure you've read your contract, make sure you understand your contract, and make sure you can actually communicate effectively what your contract says. Because when you can do all of that, your clients or any other person that you're working with will have far more confidence in what you are asking them to sign legally, but then also have more confidence in your process and the confidence of the end result of whatever product or services that you are providing them. Other benefits that you get from following these 3 quick, easy steps is that there's lesser reasons for them to show opposition, because you've already talked about those elephants in the room. And number 2, there's fewer delays in actually signing the contract, and you are able to move forward and forge forward what you do best, because you kind of put away all of these other things on the side, and you have mitigated whatever harshness or uncomfortable feelings that they might be having. So you have kind of lessened the effects of that. And another thing is that you have made it easier for them to digest uncomfortable policies that you might have, but uncomfortable but necessary, okay? And another thing, and the most important thing, is the fact that you are being transparent with them. You are communicating in a way that is transparent, that is clear, and you are also laying out the expectations and the foundation of what to expect from them and what they should be expecting from you. So you have a very open and clear conversation and relationship with your client. Now, if this was helpful to you, again, subscribe and share with others because it's going to be helpful to them also. Strategizing and integrating is very important in your business, and legal can be that only. It should not be something that you are turning to as a solution only or as a cure, but it should be something that we're integrating into our processes. So that way we are not having to constantly put out fires because we were already anticipating them and mitigating them. And so that is going to be like awesome if you start doing that for your business. Now, I'm going to be linking to this video a link for you to go in and see your pain points of your business. And the pain points will just basically help you give more clarity on the areas that are uncomfortable and the areas that you need to work on, and how can you strategize and how can you integrate those legal solutions. If you have more questions, again, reach out, leave a comment, and of course, subscribe and share. Thank you so much. And until later, I will see you then. Bye.